If you and your spouse are splitting up in Georgia, one question usually rises above all the others. What happens to the house? It holds your money, your memories, and for a lot of families, the loudest argument in the whole divorce. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what Georgia does with the marital home, the 3 real paths in front of you, and how to pick the one that fits your family instead of the one that just hurts less this week. I'm Alexis with Riv Buys Properties. If you're going through a divorce or a separation in Georgia and there's a house in the middle of it, you're probably exhausted and hearing 10 different opinions. So I'm going to walk you through what actually happens to the marital home in this state in simple terms, step by step. And because the legal and financial side really matters here, we're partnered with some of the best family law attorneys in Georgia, so you are never sorting this out alone. Before we dive in, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. If you and your spouse are splitting up in Georgia, one question usually rises above all the others. What happens to the house? It holds your money, your memories, and for a lot of families, the loudest argument in the whole divorce. So let's take the fear out of it calmly and without taking anyone's side. Most people picture the house getting ripped in half or one person winning it and the other losing it. So they freeze or they fight because no one ever explained how Georgia actually handles the marital home. Let's fix that. First, what the marital home even is. In Georgia, it's usually the house you acquired or paid down during the marriage, no matter whose name is on the deed. Even if the house is in one spouse's name only, the equity you built together during the marriage is generally still marital property that gets divided. There are exceptions, like a home owned long before the marriage, and a Georgia family law attorney sorts that out for your situation. Here's the detail people get wrong. Georgia is not a community property state. Georgia uses equitable distribution. That does not mean the house is split exactly in half. It means the court divides marital property in a way it considers just, based on things like each spouse's income, what each person contributed, and who is caring for the children. Sometimes that lands near 50-50, and sometimes it does not. When there's a house in a divorce, there are really only 3 paths. 1, sell the house now and divide the equity. 2, one spouse keeps the house and buys the other out. 3, you co-own it for a while and deal with it later. Every argument you're having about the house is really about which of these 3 doors to walk through. Batch 1 is selling now. You sell, you pay off the mortgage, and the equity gets divided per your settlement. It's often the cleanest path because it fully separates your finances. Nobody stays tied to the other person's mortgage, and you both walk away with cash and a clean start. The trade-off is that you're both moving in the middle of a hard season. For many families, that clean break is worth it. Path 2 is the buyout. One spouse keeps the house and pays the other their share of the equity, usually through a cash-out refinance that puts the loan in one name and gets the other name off the mortgage. It's the path people reach for when someone really wants to stay, often for the kids. It's beautiful when it works, but it only works if that spouse can qualify for the loan alone and truly afford the house on one income. Path 3 is co-owning temporarily. Some couples keep the house jointly for a set time, often until a child finishes a certain grade, then sell or do a buyout later. It can protect the kids from too much change at once. But be honest about the risk. As long as both names stay on the mortgage, you are both 100% liable, even the spouse who moved out. If the person living there stops paying, both credit scores take the hit. So put every detail in writing with a real deadline. Now, where families actually get stuck. Everyone worries about the deed, but the real sticking point is the mortgage. A divorce decree can order who keeps the house and who pays the loan, but that decree does not remove anyone from the mortgage. The lender was never part of your divorce. So even if a judge orders your ex to pay, if both names are on the loan, you are both still 100% on the hook to the bank. The only two ways to truly get a name off a joint mortgage are to refinance into one name or to sell and pay it off. Until then, the spouse who moved out is still exposed. A money detail worth real dollars. When you sell a primary home, the IRS lets you exclude a chunk of the profit from capital gains tax. For a married couple filing jointly, that's up to $500,000. For a single person, up to $250,000. So the timing of your sale, relative to when the divorce is final, can change your tax bill. And transferring the house between spouses as part of the divorce is generally tax-free within a window tied to the decree. Ask a tax professional before you sign, and hear this clearly. You don't have to figure out the legal and financial side alone. We're partnered with some of the best family law attorneys in Georgia, and connecting you with the right one costs nothing. This goes for both spouses. We are not here to help one of you beat the other. We're here to help the household make a clear decision about the house. What if you simply can't agree on any path? A Georgia judge can order the marital home sold, and for jointly owned property, a court can be asked to force a sale through a partition action, sometimes appointing a referee. A court-ordered sale usually runs 3 to 12 months and can cost roughly $5,000 to $30,000 or more in fees. It's the backstop, not the goal. Try mediation first. So where do we come in? If selling is the path your family chooses and listing is right for you, do that. But for a lot of divorcing couples, the house is the heaviest part. It needs work, it's full of a shared life, and everyone just wants it handled. We buy houses across Georgia as is. You don't clean it out, you don't fix a thing. We work alongside your attorneys and your timeline, and we're glad to talk with both spouses so nobody feels cornered. And just so it's clear, we are direct buyers, not listing agents, and not wholesalers passing your contract to a stranger. And we stay neutral. We work for the household's next decision, never for one spouse against the other. If there's a house caught in the middle of your divorce and you want a clear next step with no pressure, click the link in the description and fill out the quick form at rivbuysproperties.com. We'll help you understand your options, and we can connect you with a trusted Georgia family law attorney at no cost. You don't have to carry the house part alone. This is general information, not legal or financial advice. Every divorce is different, so please talk to a Georgia family law attorney about your specific situation. If there's a house caught in the middle of your divorce and you just want a clear next step, click the link in the description and fill out the quick form at rivbuysproperties.com. We're a family that buys houses across Georgia, as is and on your timeline, and we can connect you with a trusted Georgia family law attorney at no cost. No pressure, no obligation, and no taking sides. We just help the household figure out the next decision about the house.